Hello and welcome to Holistic Circle Podcast, Spiritual Conversation. My name is Philipp Kobald. We are reaching out to people who are passionate about spreading light, love, and joy. And today is Christy Whitman. Hello, Christy. With us.
Hi, Philip. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here.
I was too fast. I didn't ask you where you're from, and I always ask.
I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona, but currently I'm in France.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you came closer to me for the podcast, so we have
Right?
better connection.
Correct.
That was very good thinking of you.
I planned it that way.
Wonderful. I hope you brought the cheese and the wine. I'm there mentally with you.
It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous country.
In case you're vegan, then we'll have something else.
I'm not vegan, but
But the wine goes for everyone.
for everybody.
All right. Usually we start, like every other podcast, is inviting my guests a little bit introduce themselves. So people who might not know you yet, although you've been all around the spiritual world and all around the media and the books and everything, but nevertheless, always somebody new here. So please just give a quick introduction and then we'll see where the wind takes us.
I love it. So yeah, I started my conscious spiritual journey right out of college. I had checked off all the boxes for everything that I thought was going to make me happy. I got the college degree. I had a great career. I was making money. I was engaged to be married, and I was miserable. And so that really confused me at that point in my life because I thought, well, if all these things were supposed to make me happy, why am I not happy? And that really took me on a journey to figure out what was missing, because it clearly wasn't the accomplishments. It was something inside. And that led me to find a meditation teacher who talked to me. The first thing she ever said to me was, "You create your own reality." And in her saying that, something in me opened up. It was like something was birthed in me. And I knew that to be true. Now, this is in the 90s. So this wasn't where podcasts are saying this or, every book says it or, it wasn't about The Secret. And this is something I'd never heard before, that you create your own reality. And when she said that, it was like that knowing came out, but then also my human mind was like, how? How do I create my own reality? And by that question, she said to me, by your thoughts. You're creating your reality by the thoughts that you think. You're either repelling things from you or attracting things to you based on the way you think. And that was another big moment for me because for me, I identified, as most people do until they have a certain level of awareness, of our thoughts are us. I thought the thoughts that were in my head were real, were true. I thought they were me. I thought that was the truth. And so she could see my confusion and she could see this opening within me. So she told me, go home for about a week and I want you to just pay attention to your thoughts. And Philip, I couldn't believe how negative my mind was, how negative my thoughts were. And it was only then that I started to understand that, yeah, no matter what I accomplished, no matter what good I did in the world, no matter how I succeeded or anything that I did, if I'm inside beating myself up, condemning myself, criticizing myself, judging myself, then how can I be happy? As within, so without, right? And so all of this anger and just resentment and disappointment and all of that energy and imprints that I'd had, most of my life up to that point, I have worked for the past 35 years to let go of those imprints, to be able to be more open to and aligned with positive energy. And so for me, my work has become anything that feels limiting or impossible or feels like it's coming from scarcity or lack. That never feels good. It doesn't feel good to any of us. Anytime someone tries to limit us, anytime we try to limit ourselves, anytime we have a perspective that we don't have enough of something, whether it's money, time, support, love, doesn't matter what it is. When we as a human being are focusing on the not enough, we don't feel good. And so it has been my mission for myself, but also for the past 25 years, I've been a transformational leader, a coach, master coach, author, and an energy healer, and also a channeler, helping people move from this state of being of not enough, which never feels good, into a state of abundance, which always feels good. And so that really is, that's in general, that's who I am.
Quite an introduction. First of all, I love to interview podcasters. It is basically, I have nothing to do. I just give you a couple of, just a couple of bread crumbles and you make a perfect story out of it. So this feels like Christmas, I must say. Happy to have you. Secondly, you don't know that, but I've been teaching meditation for more than 30 years, and I'm clearly a horrible teacher compared to the one that you had, because all that whatever I say, if somebody comes to me, is, why crying out loud you want to learn meditation? Can you not take ayahuasca and be done with it? So you had a great, lucky you didn't meet me at the time, because nothing of this would have happened. I'm begging my students to stop to meditate. It's way too, it takes too much time, way too complicated. It's just not, and I'm not playing hard to get. I actually mean.
Yeah, meditation is for me the single biggest tool that we could use, because meditation for me is not how most people think of meditation. I think of meditation as guided meditation, but I also think of it as an opportunity to work with energy. And so that's the type of meditation I learned and the type of meditation that I teach. It's not just sit and try to not think of anything. We're actually calling in, inviting in higher energy, like light, to come into.
Yes.
Yeah. So the guided meditations that I do is helping someone work with the energy that all of us have, because we all have a vortex of energy around us. We all have our soul, and that energy of our soul is always at least compassion or higher. And so when we connect with and imagine being surrounded with our soul, there's a comfort that happens to us as human beings. And so it's a very different type of meditation. There's a lot of visualization in it, a lot of feeling into it. But really what it is, it's an invitation for what already exists and is already available for us to come and be part of us. So when I'm inviting my soul in and I feel that sense of relief and feel a sense of comfort, I'm also now coming from a higher mind perspective. I'm not just coming from Christy, in my wounded place. I'm opening myself up to my soul's potential and to all the energy that exists beyond the focus that I'm on at the current time. Make sense?
Sounds amazing. I might try it.
Good. You'd love it. It's life-changing.
All right. How long would you think it takes to learn that?
It doesn't take long. You could learn it right now. Imagine that all around you, 5 feet in front, 5 feet to the side, behind you, below you, above you. If you just imagine that there's your energy field that's all around you, that exists. Our soul is embodied within us. How do we know? Because we're alive, right? How do we know? Because you're listening to this podcast, because you're breathing. You cannot be alive without being part of or connected to the soul or the divine self part of you. And just knowing that, having that awareness that what you desire is already available to you, it's a returning to home. So it's a connection, it's an invitation. Just by inviting in, having an awareness of your soul, that starts the process. And then you could just even close your eyes and just imagine that you're standing under a shower head, like you're turning on the shower head, and imagine that instead of water, it's light coming in, going down through the top of your head, soothing your body, filling yourself up with light, pouring through your body. And just the visualization of what that looks like actually creates the energy moving. So it's that simple. It's not as hard as we think.
All right. That's good news.
Yes. Hey, if I could do it and thousands, hundreds of thousands of clients can do it. Anybody can do it, because I was the most unlikely person ever meditate, do energy work, believe in anything woo-woo. And for me to be able to grasp it and not only get it, but really change my life, transform my life, and then be able to teach that to others so that they can turn around and transform their lives, it's really remarkable. So we can do it, you can do it.
Well, so we're starting with a positive note here.
Yeah.
The other thing that you said, which of course is something that a lot of people who a little bit deeper work with spirituality get to realize at some point or the other, that, me, or the think we me, or my me in the head, is a bit of a tricky one. It's a slippery slope. And a lot has been written about it, and there's a lot of modern research going into it. Nobody's quite there yet, but a lot of people are trying to make sense out of it. So it's always interesting. So what do you think for you is me? Is there a multitude of me? Is there one me? Is there a interconnected me? Is there a connection above?
Yes, multidimensional. There's the me, which all of us know, and that's am I a woman or a man? Do I do this for a living or not? Am I married or am I single? Am I a mother or a father? Am I, what stance and status do we have in life? That's all from the lower self, and I'm not saying that lower means bad, because we need the human. That's the reason why all of us our soul needs to have a human experience, a human body, a human mind to be able to create with. So the me that most of us identify with, and the me that I identified with so many years ago when I thought I was my thoughts, that's the lower level self. And then comes the higher mind self, where you have an awareness that am not just me. There's something more. There's something bigger. That's higher mind self. And then when you start to be aware that you are what's living you, what's growing your nails, what's growing your hair, what's breathing you, beating your heart, that exists for you because you are alive. Now, we have evidence and proof. When someone transitions, when someone dies, the physical body is still left. But what was inside of them gave them that animation, that had them think, that had them speak, that had them breathe. That's life. That life is that third level of who we are, of connecting to that. And then, of course, there's the higher self, the divine self, which is the connection to all that is. Some call it God, goddess, all that is, whatever it is. But it's the all that is the life that comes down through the soul, through the higher self, through the individual human. And that's why it's not just one story, one part of it. There's multi-dimensions that come and experience life through human body. Now, a lot of times, the human experience, like I was when I was 27, started meditating and having an awareness and a realization that I'm more than this. There's more to this than who I identify myself as, how much I weigh, how tall I am, what color my eyes are, what color my hair is my hair long or short? There's so much more to the story. It's the non-physical that actually fuels the physical part of us.
You said, this is also an interesting one. You said the soul needs us to create. Very interesting, because a lot of people would say the soul needs us for a learning experience. So it's interesting that you create what, question mark, I might ask.
Learning experiences, isn't that creation, right? So anything being a creation, the soul is a very different experience, and so does the divine, as we take a body. I like to think of it this way. If you have Yes?
I will ask the next question, however long I said. My next question would be why? So you can maybe tune it in.
Yes, I'll bring those together. Okay, so think of a water fountain or a faucet. If you were going to go up to the water faucet and you were going to turn on the water, The water would just go down the drain if you didn't have anything to contain it with. Once you have a container, whether it's a pot, whether it's a bottle, whatever it is, you can then fill that up with that water. You can take it around and you can do stuff with it, right? The water that goes straight down the drain, I can't go water the flowers outside. I can't go water the plant. I can't refresh myself. I can't give that water to the dog. It's going down it just continues. But the minute you put it in a container, then it has ability to be something, do something. So same with us. We are the container. We are an energy container. And so our soul comes through humans, right? Dogs, bugs, humans. Our souls, anything that is alive has a soul, or it wouldn't be. So it's a partnership between both soul and human in order to create. And now you said create what? Create experiences, create learning, create expansion. It's all about creation. And when the soul combined with the human is aware of the soul, and that the soul is here to support and form so much for the human being, it's a co-creation, it's a partnership, it's a collaboration for the purpose of joy, evolution, experiences, for expansion. Think about why any of us go on a vacation. Why do we do that? Because it's fun? Because we want to experience? Because we want to explore? Because we want to be moved and changed by the experiences on that vacation? Anything that we do is for the expansion. And as long as we as the human being, the human part of us, know that the soul is here to expand. And with that expansion, the human goes along for the ride and helps the soul expand even more.
Well, to answer your question, I usually go on holiday to help out the suffering credit card companies.
There you go. See, there's always a purpose.
The small family-run businesses.
That's funny.
The logic question I most probably have to ask, otherwise somebody's going to put a hot needle into my puppet, is I mean, the question is now on the table. So we are aware of our soul. First of all, do you think that animal, that we are aware of our soul uniquely? Or do you think that plants, trees, animals are also aware of their soul and part of the same creation, just in a different way? Or would you think it's rather unique to us humans? Because I have a lot of animal lovers on the show, so be careful.
I'll say both. Because every human, any live thing has life in it, right? It has energy in it. Everything is energy. And all energy carries a vibration. That vibration goes out into the universe and it collects more things that are of that same vibration. Now, that is unique to humans because we have a mind that can focus, right? We can focus and say a dog, which I am a huge dog lover. I love my boy Jax, who's back in Arizona right now, and I miss him terribly because he's just such a love bug. Inside of him, right? He's in the moment. He's connected with the presence, which is the soul presence, and he's not thinking about how am I going to send the kids to college. He's not thinking about, do I want to keep creating my life this way, or is there another option? He doesn't think about, at least I don't think so, visualizing what his future self is going to be like. These are human qualities, where even the human qualities go into the emotions of worrying because we're looking into the future. And if we don't have the answers right now, our mind tries to figure it out. And if it can't figure it out, it goes into fear, worry, doubt, all those emotions. Animals don't have that. They don't have that future projection of, I can guarantee my dog probably would love me to be with him right now, but he's not sitting there going, where's my mommy? When is she coming home? I mean, he's in the moment. He's connected with the pure positive energy that is him. and that he has access to.
First of all, I'm so happy that we're going to have a lively comment session this time.
I hope so. Bring it.
This is what makes the YouTube channel grow.
Yes.
It's so wonderful because it was a short little dance around this epic 6,000-year-old question. Are we, a deviation from nature? If we're just a monkey, are we part of this basically interconnected of the soul? And something went wrong, stone fell on our head, and we start to think. And now the drama has happened. Now we're here. And are we the only one? And all of these big questions. And if we a little bit question animal wisdom, let's make fun of aliens. And this podcast gets 1 million views.
We all are one at the end of the day. So whether we're a plant, whether we're a plant or a dog or a cat or a human, I mean, the same essence that puts anything into a live mode.
All right.
Has that energy.
That's the answer. I'm already thankful because I think half of the answers to this question in the last 2 weeks was fractal geometry of the universe and quantum physics. So I take your answer. I might even understand your answer.
Oh, good. I'm glad. The thing here, though, I have my new book coming out called The Flow Factor. And it's really about mastering your own energy and then getting back into the flow. The flow of what? The flow of feel good. Because from what we were just talking about, we do have an animalistic part of us. We are part animal. And the proof is in even just the way our brain functions. We learn coping mechanisms that are based in just animalistic tendencies, fight, flight, freeze. Like I said, I live in the desert, and sometimes when I'm walking my dog, I see a bunny rabbit that's like, I'm not here, you don't see me, right? It's like in total freeze mode, right? Other times it might just run away. It never fights back. Rabbits just don't do that. But we do have that. And there's a part of our mental functioning and our brain functioning that when something happens, we either go into resistance, which is fight, and that could look like we're complaining, we're judging, we're condemning. It's like we're pushing against. Something doesn't even have to happen, and we can be in our minds fighting or arguing with someone. It could be the lady at Starbucks or, someone that you had an argument with 20 years ago. There's that fight, and that energy gets stuck in that part of the brain. Then there's that freeze where, say, the reaction might be someone asks you out on a date, and you're like, do you want to dance? Do you want this new job? And you feel stuck, right? That's also an animalistic part. They've frozen in that place, sometimes frozen with fear, worried out. Then there's the flee, where it's like, keep moving. You can't be still. So you got to keep moving, keep running, keep doing. And that's where I got to put on so much stuff. So I feel I'm almost overwhelmed. Or the flee part is where we use vices. It could be coffee, wine, marijuana, too much Netflix, whatever it is that helps us escape, run away from the presence of what's really going on in ourselves, in our feelings, in our mental body, and in our lives. So these coping mechanisms, this fight, flight, freeze, there's others like fawn that I talk about in the Flow Factor. But getting beyond these is understanding that there's another option, and that's flow. So flow of what? Flow of compassion, flow of good feelings, flow of abundance, success, well-being, love, support. Whatever it is that we want to be in the flow of or alignment with, that energy exists, whether we're a dog, a cat, or a human being. The energy of pure positive energy exists for us as a human from our soul to utilize, to blend with, and to co-create with. So when we can get out of our animalistic fight, flight, freeze kind of thing and understand that there's a different option, and where compassion comes in, that starts the flow, because our souls sit in that energy of compassion. Now, what is compassion? Compassion is an energy that feels soothing, and it definitely doesn't feel bad. So it's not feeling sorry for ourselves. It's very different. Self-pity, powerlessness, feeling sorry for ourselves are totally different than the neutrality that compassion brings. So when we allow ourselves to feel soothed, especially by calling in our soul, feeling our soul, bringing in the energy of what compassion would feel like, now we're neutral. And now we're out of that lower level part of the human and going into our higher mind, into our higher connection with soul divine.
The book that you write that I obviously unfortunately have not read yet, do you also a little bit focus on yoga or also body flow as well? Also the stuckness in the body, is this part of your thinking, or you just talk about the soul and the divine that is the focus, or you take a more globalistic, holistic view?
No, and I'm glad you asked that question. Thank you for that. I talk about there's 4 bodies. So the mental body, the emotional body, physical body, and then the energy body. So at the back of the book, I have an appendix of all of these different processes that people can use to move energy through their body. And yes, I am a firm believer in moving your body, getting body work, massage, acupuncture, rolfing, working out, of course, and, doing things to move the energy, but not just about, because you have to remember, we're both physical and non-physical. So just working with the energy and not affecting the physical, it doesn't do as much if we combine them together. And it's the same thing. If you're just doing the physical, but you're not bringing in the energy, you're really not seeing the whole picture. So yes, by focusing on the physical body, whether it's doing yoga or Pilates or doing some kind of a movement or a workout or other type of healing work, body work, I find that is absolutely essential because we are energy receivers, we're energy containers, and then we're also energy transmitters. And our container is our physical body. And so we need to make sure that put it this way, if we don't feel good, right? If our body doesn't feel good or we feel tight, we're not going to be as open and ready to go and motivated and inspired if we're not feeling well. So taking care of our physical body, whether it's getting proper water, getting, proper exercise, proper nutrients, food, all of those things, the body work, it plays a huge part in how we feel as a physical person. So it's huge. Got it. You got it. You can't. We're a human being with a physical body, so you have to take care of the physical body.
Then, of course, I would ask you the Holy Trinity, the Holy Triangle, and do you address the whole idea about the social element, that bringing all of this new enlightenment into the community, into your relationship or friends or doing voluntary work? So this is this Holy Trinity, the inner work, the physical work, and the community or whatever, the social element.
Exactly, because here's the thing. When each of us in our containers bring in a higher perspective, a higher awareness, a higher energy, right? It doesn't just affect us. It affects everybody that we're in contact with. It affects everything that we give out energetically in our neighborhoods, in our cities, and everything that we send out has an effect. We know what that's like. If you were to walk into a room and someone has just been arguing, you could feel the tension in that room. But you can also feel the difference when you walk into a room and people are happy and they've been laughing and, you walk in and it feels good. We can feel the energy. So we all give off energy all the time. And that energy that we give off does affect everyone. But it's also important to understand that we too can fill ourselves up with the type of energy that we want. Say, for example, we want to feel joy. Filling our energy container, our body, our mind, our emotions with the energy of joy, that is going to have just like waves, right? You throw a rock in a pond and then there's waves. it has those waves go out in all dimensions and in all directions. And we draw to us situations, circumstances, people, events, everything from joy or from fear or, whatever the vibration is we're feeling. So when we walk into a room and we're feeling fear, we're creating waves of that and it affects everybody else. But when we're walking in compassion, for example, and we're not judging ourselves and we're being filled with compassion for ourselves, we can't give what you don't have, can't give away what you don't have, right? If you were to come up to me and go, hey, can I have some money? And I didn't have any, can't give you any. If you wanted compassion from me and I don't have any to give, how can I give it to you? So we have to fill ourselves up with that positive energy first, because that will be what we send out, and it will affect all those around us, including it shifts the universe.
Right. And just to maybe tell our viewers a little bit read on you, so I have a bit of a background information. You're not talking it from sitting somewhere on a stone and then you have a vast experience. You're enormously accomplished, I think, coach. You worked with a lot of people. You've seen all the problems many times over. And I guess so this is the collection of all the little experiences that ran into this book. So maybe before we a little bit talk more about the book, I have a couple of questions. Can you just talk about your work as a coach, the people you worked with, the problems you've overcome, and how maybe it has changed your approach to the problems over time? Nobody ever asks, but therapists also learn, right? We also
Absolutely.
grow as therapists, and we're starting out somewhere and we're pressing this button and it don't work, so we try this button. Can you a little bit, maybe if you feel like, spend a couple of minutes telling about your personal journey as a consultant, as a therapist, as a coach? What have you learned for yourself as coaching others?
Absolutely. I've been a coach officially for 25 years. I'm a master certified coach. And it all started one night when I was meditating. And in my meditation, I had a visualization for a book that came to me. And at 1:05 in the morning, I was woken up with a voice. It clearly was not my voice, because it was giving me advice that I would have never known. And so that night I got up and I started writing down what I was hearing. And it was coming out so fast that one hand was turning the page and it was like my hand was just scribing. It wasn't even my consciousness. And this happened for 7 days in a row. And I happened to take the collections of all these and I got the book published. And as I was speaking on the book, people would ask me in these seminars. It was like the first one I did was like 6 people in a room. But these 6 people were so curious, well, how do I do that? And what do I do? And by their questions, and saying, will you coach me? And I'm like, I don't even know what a coach, you mean like a football coach, cheerleading coach? I don't know what you're talking about. No, like a life coach. I'm like, they have those? What, did people pay people to do that? Wait, what is that? I would just have people call me and I would walk them through the energy. I would help them shift a perspective. As my meditation teacher, Melanie, had said, you got to start with your thoughts. What you think, you're either repelling or attracting things to you. I say we have to start with our words, because our words have creative power. And so for years, I've always had people say, well, you teach about universal laws and, it's very esoteric spiritual stuff. Where's the first place if I wanted to change my life? I would always say, watch your words. As a matter of fact, this question came up so often from clients, from media. Where do you start? How do you do it? That I created a free 30-day program that I'll give all of your listeners access to. You can just go to watchyourwords.com. I'm sure you're going to put it in the show notes, but it's watchyourwords.com. And every day you get a video. Every day you get a video that's like 2 to 4 minutes, and it tells you the word of what not to say, why, that's a really important part, and then what to say instead. Because every word we speak is sparking, right? What are thoughts? They're words put together, right? What is a belief? their thought over and over and over again. So everything in our creative universe starts with our words. The minute we say, I can't, we constrict and nothing gets created. The minute we say, oh, I miss that person, or I miss that time, our energy gets constricted and we're in the space of lack. Remember what I said earlier, my mission for my own life and to help all the people that I have, and yes, I've helped people, oh, let me get to that in a second, but is getting someone out of that lack, which never feels good, and getting them at least into neutrality or better. And through the years of writing and coaching and then getting master certified and having all the people that I've worked with, I was trained with working with energy. So it's not just about telling someone what to do or coaching them or, guiding them. It's also the energy that I'm helping them to embody. And that's the biggest thing, because when we shift the energy, we shift everything. So in doing this type of work with people, I've helped a woman that was on oxygen and was in a wheelchair get herself off oxygen and get out of the wheelchair and start traveling the world again. I helped another woman who literally had phobias about all of the vibrations of Wi-Fi's and, all of these things that toxins. She couldn't leave her house. She just went on a trip to Costa Rica with her husband. And she was like, I can't believe I was able to do that, because it was only a couple years ago that she was literally in her house, afraid to go outside, afraid to go to the grocery store, terrified of all the things that were coming at her. I helped a young man heal from stage 4 cancer. I mean, I've helped people get out of debt. I've helped people attract their ideal relationships. I've helped people create their ideal bodies, losing like 35 pounds and sometimes more and keeping it off. I mean, the stories could go on in every aspect of their lives. It's just when you dial in and, of course I channel, so I have a little bit higher of a perspective because the council can see imprints and blocks in people and know where to go and how to direct them. So I have that on my on my side as well. But it's just been amazing to be able to help people move from lack and limitation into abundance and then see their whole entire lives. I've helped some women go through divorces and have it be where they were leaving with love instead of anger and resentment. And, that decision and that energy supporting the family and the kids and making it easier for the kids and making it an understanding that both parents love them and it's not about them, and really helping them with the languaging on that and the energy of that. And so I've helped people create their careers and, do things that they love doing, because I certified coaches for 18 years, certified law of attraction coaches. So it's been quite an amazing journey and I'm really grateful.
So you would say it's a happy life. You get the energy back. You get this transition between giving, because giving and holding space is a very hard job. I mean, not everybody understands, but it's not just like all roses. It's
Yes.
holding the space. It takes its toll on the best trained and the best aware energy person. It still takes its toll. But in the end, when you get back, when you receive, when you get the positive results, everything gets filled up again. So you would say you're on a good terms with the energies?
Absolutely. Yes. I will say this, and one of the things I talk about in the Flow Factor book is that none of us humans, we are in an universe, at least an earth experience of polarity. That's one of the universal laws that I talk about, the law of polarity. If there's up, there's down, in, out, left, right, good, bad. So we have to understand that in this polarity land that we're living in as humans, there's contrast. Contrast meaning what we don't want. There's light, there's dark. So we might be going along and our life is great, right? I love my life. I'm married. I've been happily married for 18 years. We've had ups, we've had downs, right? I have two boys, one that's 14 and a half, the other one's 16. He just got his driver's license and then got into a car accident. He's okay. But that's contrast, right? So contrast happens, and then it's just knowing that there is always a solution to whatever happens. Whatever thing happens, no matter what it is, there's always a solution. And that we have, and this is based on the flow factor, we have free choice as to how we see the contrast. Because contrast is inevitable, but resistance to the contrast is optional.
So before I make a really bad joke that I cannot make on public air and said, thanks the Lord, I'm not married to a clairvoyant woman, because I can't make this joke, and I just did it. I'm going to pay for it heavy, but it's going to be punishment coming down my way. But the book is now, I think we've got an idea. I mean, you did so many things, you had so many stations. It's just 1 hour podcast. So we did our best to prepare people for the goodies in the end. Now, my technical mind coming through. This book is this really a help guide that people read and go through their initiation, that they, if they don't find you or find somebody like you, they can work with the book? Or is it just a preparation to find someone who is clairvoyant, somebody who is a good teacher, or somebody that can then bring this work? So can I do this work by myself?
Yes.
Through your guidance of your book?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The book is meant to be something that is a how-to. It gives you the information, concepts, and once you get them, it's life-changing. But also then it gives you processes that you can do as you're driving in your car, as you're waiting in line, as you're sitting in an uncomfortable situation, because life happens, and life is life, and contrast happens in life. And so we need to know how to master our own energy and get ourselves back in flow, because nobody else is going to do it for us. And we can't wait for every situation, circumstance, and everything in our lives to be just so perfect in order to be happy. And so this allows us to find our flow no matter what. And so yes, if you're a beginner and if you're someone that really wants to go deep, this book is for you, because it really shows you the moment by moment, what do I need to think? What do I need to focus on? And more importantly, once I've already gotten into a perspective or a mindset that doesn't feel good, how do we get out of it? When things aren't going well, how do I get back into flow?
Of course, I must ask, is there some kind of, most probably you're doing podcasts yourself and videos, is there some kind of a explanatory material beside of it? Do you talk about it when you talk about the book and podcasts, but do you specifically talk about some chapters when people reading it, they can also maybe watch some videos somewhere to a little bit better understand the stuff like this on the plan, or is it there, or is it coming? That's one thing. And the other yes, question would be, okay, yes, it is.
Okay, so yes, it is. More is coming, and yes. So yes. Okay, next question.
All right, here comes the quantum physics again. Yes. And the second question would be, how long do you feel or think a regular Joe, sitting in the office is not happy with situations, thinking, you know what, now I'll try the flow because, I need it and it feels good. And I see you're smiling, you're clearly full of energy, you're flowing all over my podcast. So I guess people are saying, all right, I'll give it a go. So what would you tell him or her? What would be a realistic to calm yourself? That's the time you should give yourself. That's the time you should make space for yourself to have results, to have first understanding, and also time of the day. Is it give yourself an hour of the day for 6 months, commit to it, do it, or do you give guidance in the book about how to stay persistent?
Yes, I do give guidance in the book. So have with the watchyourwords.com. It's a perfect place to go and learn deeper. ChristyWhitman.com. I will have courses that go along with the book. When you purchase a book, you're going to be able to get into a course that will help integrate it. But I will say this, first thing in the morning, when you wake up, and you're aware that you're awake and your eyes open, that's the perfect moment to allow yourself to just be in a space of, okay, I get a whole new day, and be grateful for it. And if you wake up and you don't feel like, yay, zippity-doo-dah, I have a brand new day, right? If you're waking up and you're like, oh, I've got pain and I don't feel good, I don't want to wake up, I don't want to go, stop and let yourself just come to a blending. Let me just say that, and I teach this how to do this in the book and in all my work, but come to a place of a blending with your soul. Come to a place of just even wrapping your arms around you and giving yourself a hug, telling yourself it's going to be all right. I'm okay. I'm safe. All is well. It's going to be all right. Even if you're terrified, it's like, breathe, right? And allow yourself to, okay, I'm all right. I'm okay. Rub your shoulders if you need to. But feel the energy as if an angel's just wrapping its arms all around you and just encasing you in this beautiful feeling of compassion, just the soothing energy. Start your day like that and watch your mind where it goes to make judgments. When we are judging something, we're not in compassion, and we need compassion to bring us back out of the judgment.
We are coming slowly towards my last question, and it's basically a classic that I've asked many, many people before, and I will keep asking it, most probably as long as I'm podcasting. And I'm always so curious because this book sounds great and people need it. And I'm a very big flow lover, coming from movement ideas and vibrations and all of it. And I think we all need to unstuck ourselves and giving a well thought out program. And all of it, it's amazing and it's available. And then you will create the content, which I think it's in our days, most probably super important, that one creates the visual and the audio content that help the book go along. It's just where we are and the time we live. So you tell me, please, if you may, 60% of the American population read your book, took the time and did it. Where are we? Can we just spend 2-3 minutes in a country where 60% of the people have read your book, have understood the same message? Is it world peace? Is it everything is okay? Will never ever after? Or just tell me, where are we? How does it look like?
love this question, because as I think about that, I get giddy inside, because people will be kind to one another. People will respect each other's opinions and allow each other to have their own. There's a sense of freedom. There's a sense of connection that I'm okay and you're okay, and that we're in this together. And when we reach for compassion instead of fear, and 60% of people just shifting out of lack, I mean, that's a whole new world. 60% of people going into abundance, knowing that they have the ability to create what they want, and they believe in themselves, and that they're connected to a higher source and an energy source, that they have what it takes to, oh my gosh, there'll be more creation, more fun, more things, more joy, peace, all that and more.
Because I think people keep forgetting, why do we podcasting? Why are we writing those books? Why are we doing it? Because we're just trying over and over. If you don't start to make the transition, who are you waiting for? Whom are you waiting for? If you wait your neighbor to do the transition, if you wait the guy down there in the grocery store to buy her book and finally, be better, this is just not good enough. We want the people, you buy the book, do the work, and watch the podcast every day in endless loops. It's super important. You can even go to the other room, just the algorithm, knowing that you're watching. We are doing all of this because we're dreaming, right? By the end of the day, of a world where at least 10, 15% trying to come to this better energy and try to find joy and compassion, as you said. And with this, I'm so thankful for you coming and presenting your work, and we're all looking forward for more content. And of course, all the information, everything goes down there. And of course, we're waiting for your comments nice or naughty, we are ready. Thank you, Christy, so very much for coming to this little show.
Thank you so much, Philipp. I appreciate you having me and for all the impact that you're making.